And so they want to know, well, what's going on here? Right? Now, we can put whatever numbers we want in. Okay? Because we're just going to, it's going to come out the same. So, the numbers I want to put in is just 1 for x. Let's just let x equal 1. If x equals 1, then that means we have 1, the square root of 3, and 2. Looks a lot like this one, right? Okay? Alright, and so that means when I look at this, this isn't 1 though. When we look at it with respect to x and y, this is negative 1, right? Okay? This is negative square root 3, but the distance, the hypotenuse, is always going to be positive. Remember when you did distance formula in geometry? Right? No? Because you didn't have me. Oh, we got to learn that distance formula. We did it at the beginning of the year, right? But the distance formula always comes out positive. Okay? Because it's talking about a square. Okay? So, this is going to be always positive, so it's not going to be a negative 2, it's going to be positive 2. Okay? So this one is going to be 2. Okay? So now we've got this triangle. Nice. We got 1, 2, square root 3, but it's not 1 and square root 3, it's negative 1, and this is the theta we're talking about. And if it wants opposite and hypotenuse, then we're worried about the hypotenuse and the opposite, right? So it's going to equal the hypotenuse, which is 2, over the negative square root 3. And then if we remember, right? If we remember, the funny part of, does anyone remember the funny part of changing this? How did I change this square root? How did I didn't flip it. I pushed it up, right? But if I push it up, what happens? Did I tell you this? Okay, so what you got to do to this is multiply it by the square root of 3 on both the top and the bottom. That's 1, right? And what happens here is it's square root of 9, which turns into 3, right? So this is equal to 2 square root 3 over negative 3. Okay? Because this is really square root of 9. And what's the square root of 9? 3. But there's a trick you can use. And that trick is move it up. So you get 2 square root 3. Okay? Move it up. And then poop out whatever's on the inside. The reason why I say poop it out is because, well, that's gross, right? And sometimes those taboo things stick in your head. And let me tell you, those kids in geometry, they remembered it really quick. They're a little bit more immature. And that's okay. Okay? So, whatever's on the inside just drops out. Drops down. Stays there. Every single time. Okay? Now, the negative doesn't have to be on the bottom or the top. It can be either. Both of these answers are correct. Okay? Both of these answers are correct. Because the negative could be in the bottom, the negative could be in the top. Heck, you might even see this answer. Negative 2 square root 3 over 3. Or the negative's outside. That answer's correct too. Does that make sense?
from the 2 now?
Because all we need to do is make the problem negative. So if I had 3/4 and it was negative, remember slope? Was it going down 3 and rise over run? Right? Down 3 over 4, the same as going up 3 and left 4, right? But then sometimes the book would do this to you, and it's not down or up, so you had to put it up or down. You know, pick one. Yeah, pick one, and that's what this is doing. Pick one. Okay. So yeah, all 3 of these work. You choose the one you like, and then you tell me cosecant of theta is equal to, I like -2 over square root 3 over 3. That's what I like, because I like my negatives in the top. But that's just me. Okay?
Shuts down, man.
Questions? This is one of the hardest problems to deal with. Okay? All right.